I want to just introduce my mother real quickly, and then she's going to say just a few words. She has an 85th birthday coming up, which I think is pretty awesome. And yeah. There are some perks to growing up in the household of Janice Kapp Perry. And I remember a particular time I was just learning to sing. I was a teenager, and one time she was writing a song. She said, "Steve, come sing this. I just need to know if this makes sense." And so she starts playing. I'm sort of sight reading her piano, her scratched pencil copy, and I start singing along. And as a teenager, I remember my reaction was something like, "Yeah, I think it's good. It'll do." So that was, I'm trying to be like Jesus, and yeah, it'll do. And I was thinking of that moment today when I was looking at all the beautiful Post-it notes out there, and I hope you'll take a minute and look at them. People saying, "I am gathering because," and the first one I looked at, and I took a picture of it because it said, "I'm gathering because I'm trying to be like Jesus." So here's the rest of the story. Years ago, when Mom was writing a whole bunch of songs, and she sent them into the church music committee, and they said, "We got your songs, thanks, we don't need them." That was not an exact quote, but they basically said, these are nice, but bloom where you're planted, brighten your own corner of the kingdom, and if they need to find their way into the larger world, they will. And a lot of people got messages like that and stopped, like, well, they brushed me off. Instead, Mom said, "Okay, what can I do right here where I am?" And she actually actively thought, how can I brighten this corner of where I am? And so many of the songs, like "I'll Bring the World to His Truth" or others that you may love, came because a primary boys choir needed something the boys would want to sing, or whatever it might be. She's always writing for a need. And we needed a song for this conference, didn't we? So do you want to say something about that?
Do I use this one?
Yes.
Okay. I've loved being here with you. I came with my boys, Steve and John, and I love those boys with all my heart.
Almost as much as Steve Young.
Almost. I was trying to think of a way to say that nicely. I have 7 footballs in my studio, music studio, signed by all the coaches and Steve Young. And a few of my children are trying to decide who will get them. And, so behave. I came here because I love to hear the mellow voice of my favorite radio announcer on BYU Classical FM, and I didn't know there was going to be another Steve here that I would always enjoy hearing. I remember one time I just was a total Steve Young fan. For years, I followed him all through BYU and through his career to the Super Bowl and MVP. But one day, I always wish I could meet him. I was leaving conference. I was singing in a tabernacle choir then, and I left conference and started down the busy street with everybody. And I saw that Steve Young was walking right by me. And I said, "Well, I'm a big fan of yours, Steve, and here you are. Can I walk across the street with you?" And so he took me by the arm and kept walking with me and had a nice conversation. I kind of thought I'd gone to heaven. So there's such a great spirit here. I have coming up here and looking at so many of you, and we know in our family what you've been through, and what you're still going through, and what wonderful people you are. We know that firsthand. My son John is sitting here down below with me and my daughter Lynn. And I just cannot express the love Lynn and I feel for her brothers and my sons in this group. But we are just so happy to be here today. When Megan Decker, she and her husband David are in my Provo ward, and when she came over one day to ask me how I'd feel about writing a song for this event today, I knew instantly that I wanted to, but I wasn't sure how to write it. So I asked Megan, because of her experience, if she would just take out a pen and pencil and write down some of her thoughts about how the song might be. She just instantly, quickly scribbled off 4 or 5 short little pages of thoughts that were things that I wouldn't have known to say in a song. So in the verses of this song, you'll hear Megan's voice, and I appreciate her contributions very much because they're authentic. I also knew what I wanted to do, and so in the chorus and the bridge and the rest of the song, I based it on a scripture that I love, and I just knew immediately what I wanted the title of the song to be. It was based on Second Nephi, Book of Mormon, 2nd Nephi chapter or verse 20. Let's see. Chapter 26, verse 33. Behold, hath the Lord commanded any that they should not partake of his goodness? Nay, all men are privileged, the one unlike unto the other, and none are forbidden. For all are alike unto God. I just knew that our song today could only be for all are alike unto God. As I wrote, I promise you my heart was just truly in writing this song. Well, I hope you'll feel what I felt. And I am so honored to be here today and be part of this. I love singing this song in my studio, in my music studio, but I'm 84 now, and so it wouldn't be appropriate to sing it anywhere beyond my soundproof studio. I haven't heard the song that's been prepared, so I'm going to go sit back down and listen.
We're lucky that our performance today will be Molly Flake and Johnny Bowers will be singing. Austin Peterson is going to be playing. Just a quick introduction. Johnny graduated from the University of Utah with his master's in clinical mental health counseling and works as a therapist in Lehigh. He enjoys art, volleyball, swimming, and a good curry. So I assume he's talking about an Indian restaurant and not taking care of horses. Molly Flake is from a little town in northern Arizona, born into a musical family. Molly plays several instruments and has a passion for connecting with those around her through song. She's currently pursuing her bachelor's in choral music education at Utah Valley University. And Austin Peterson, who will be playing the piano, graduated from BYU with a degree in linguistics, and he's currently working as a business analyst at BYU. He volunteers with the Questions from the Closet podcast, helping manage emails. And I'm going to turn the time over to these three to share All Are Alike Unto God. Thanks so much.
At times I feel so broken that my best is not enough. Unsure, I hide in shame and fear, yet you made me as I am. Can you see into my shattered heart and extend a loving hand? Then the Spirit gently whispers words that help my faith expand, and I feel a sweet assurance that I am part of God's plan. For all are alike unto God, all are the sheep of His flock, and He hears every prayer. His love is always there. Though the judgment of the world may seem harsh, the Lord looketh on the heart. Lord, do you hear me? Can you love a heart like mine that longs to share the table where your other children dine? At times I feel rejected, Lord. Will you reach and take my hand? In despair's dark night I've cried aloud. Can you love me as I am? Send the Comforter to hold me. Help me understand your plan. Let me feel and know for certain that I am safe in your hands. For all are alike unto God, all are the sheep of His flock, and He hears every prayer. His love is always there. Though the judgment of the world may seem harsh, the Lord looketh on the heart. Feeling worthy of love and belonging, having gifts I can share with the world, I'll go forth knowing God is the healer, and His love for me is assured. For all are alike unto God, all are the sheep of His flock, and He hears every prayer. His love is always there. Though the judgment of the world may seem harsh,